Alright, well, welcome to Robotics in the Classroom. My name is Peggy Reimers, and I work for TCEA, and it'll be my 4th year coming up on May 3rd. Before that, I taught for 24 years in the public school system. The last 2 years, I was a tech specialist, and the last 9 years I was in the classroom. I was fortunate enough to be in a computer lab that is pretty much obsolete now, but I taught computer lit and I taught robotics. So I've taught 5th and 6th graders robotics for about 9 years, and then teachers for about 11. So the thing I want to tell you about robotics is really, it's just another name for problem solving. That's what robotics is all about. It's collaboration, it's communication, it's really solving problems. So I wanted to start off with, once you get out there, how many of you are pre-service? And how many of you are in the public school system or in the private? Okay. All right, so once you get out there, and if you do decide to have some kind of a robotics club, or if you're lucky enough to have maybe an elective, and you're looking for a contest, we do have the TCA contest. We have it in 20 different areas around the state. Our areas are equivalent to your service centers. So what service center is college? ESC 6? Does anybody know? 6. Isn't it 6? Okay, so you're in the TCEA area of number 6. So every board every director of the board has to hold an area contest. So we have 20 area contests around the state, and then every spring in April we have one state contest where the first and second place winners get to go to. So if you're looking for a contest, they're all one good thing about living in the state of Texas is that there are lots of choices for contests. So they're at all price ranges, all different levels. So that's the good thing. There's gear and FLL, if you've heard of First Lego League. We have a couple competitions. We have an arena contest where you get about 20 pages of rules, and then you move certain things around the table. You have 2 minutes, and you score different points. Then we have an inventions contest, where it's kind of like a big science project. The kids think of some kind of invention, they design a protocol, they do some research, they do marketing. So they're kind of like apples and oranges. The contests are very different. So I just wanted to spend a couple minutes on that. So this is all about getting your hands on some building and some programming. So what we use at TCEA is we use the Lego Mindstorms. Okay? And so we're up to the 3rd generation of robotics. This was the RCX, the NXT, and I brought the EV3s. The EV3s were just released this January. Okay? The best thing about the EV3 is that you don't need a computer to program. You can actually use the brick, and you can program up to 12 steps on this brick, which is sometimes called the brain. Okay? So that's a big update from the NXT. Does anybody have any background with robotics?
Okay. It's been about 20 years.
Okay.
Long time now.
All right. Okay, so what I'm going to have you do first is there's a gentleman, his name is Damien Key, and he's from Australia. And he has a build called the Riley Rover. So that's what you're going to build today. And then we're going to do some on-brick programming to make your robot move. So you've got a right motor assembly, a left motor assembly, you've got your back caster assembly, and then you're going to put it all together, connect your motors to your brick, your EV3, and then you should have your little Riley Rover built. Okay? So go ahead and get those parts out. Get your partner, and let's get building. It helps if you line up the part to how the picture looks. That always helps too. So see how, there you go. Now you can kind of tell, okay. So one little thing here. This is the stopper part. So you want to put it through this way. Okay.
You always want to, but. Okay, I just feel that. Not that hard.
So hold it. Yeah. And then bring this piece and pull. Yes, but put it the other way. See how you're holding it? So you're holding it like this in the picture. Look at this one.
Oh, yeah. I see. You what? Is she back? Oh. When it comes out. Yeah, yours is. Put it like.
Well, because I've got the right, so yours actually like that way.
Okay.
Oh, no.
we're missing a piece.
You're missing what?
One of the squares. It takes two, right?
Oh, no. You know what the thing problem is?
I think I only brought it a couple of hours ago. Oh, we can take them out here. Okay.
Hey, I can wait for you. How do you think it was the same way? So now you see how to do it? Yeah. No, I didn't.
Building.
Yeah, I have to.
Did I give you an extra fine? No.
Yeah. Just stick it on there.
You can just put the touch sensor anywhere you want.
Do you have a piece for that? You can use this. Okay.
That's it. And you can attach your touch sensor too. Yes. And that's going to be plugged into number 1.
And then we just attach it anywhere.
Yeah, anywhere you want. And then, so you can attach all these other sensors. I just brought a touch sensor. And that'll go into port 1.
It's okay.
Oh, there it is.
It's going to be for your touch sensor when you do that.
Okay.
You've got 1, 2, 3, 4, and A, B, C, D. No, you don't. You do not. Okay, you got your touch sensor number 1. All right, you're good to go.
Oh,
take a break. Wipe the sweat off your brow.
Oh, got it.
That is an extra piece, so go ahead and put on your brick first, and then you can attach your touch sensor anywhere you want. that can be, attach your touch sensor to that.
Well, I'll
So sometimes it's just a little bit off. But you're close.
All of them at once.
Look at where your tires are compared to what your brick looks like.
one of
Know that when you look at the touch sensor, it'll go into number one, port number one. Yes. Okay, let me get you one. This kit is $339 for the hardware. The software you can, I think it's $100 for one license and then, for one state license, and then it's almost $400 for a campus site license. Which I know that in educational terms, the hardware is expensive, but you can't beat Lego's price for software because you can take, you can buy a site license for $400 and you can put it on 1 to 5,000 computers just at that one campus. And these will last for quite a few years, as long as you handle them with a little TLC. Okay? All right. So what you've just done is built your first robot. And did you have any problem solving to overcome as you were going through that? Okay.
My robot didn't like the picture. It was a problem. It was a problem.
Okay. So you've just built your first little Riley rover. And when I'm usually teaching this as a class, we go over the part names. So we're just going to go over a couple of the part names. I call it the language of Lego. Now, every base core set comes with about 400 pieces. And I never made my 6th graders know all the terms, but they should know that, the gray things that you put through the tires, those are not sticks, those are axles. And they have those little stoppers on the end. So you've used a couple axles now. Okay? This is the brick. The big part is the brain. And the pieces that look like little rectangles, those are called frames, okay? And then you've got the little black connector pegs that you used a lot of. So those are just black connector pegs. So we talk a little bit about the language of Lego. We're kind of in a short time today, so I'm not going to talk a lot about it. But I will mention that in order to connect your motors and your sensors to the brick, you have to use cables. And they come in one long one, which I use electrical tape because once you have, and it's not bad right now because you only have a B and a C motor and a touch sensor. But if you have them all on there, it's really hard to tell what cable goes to what sensor or motor. So I buy electrical tape, and you can buy a 5-pack at Walmart or Target. And then I usually tape my long cables white, and then my 4 medium ones, kind of like the 4 primary colors, even though my friend gets on me because it's not the 4, what is it? It's red, blue, yellow, green. They're not 4 primary colors. There's only 3. And then the medium ones are the purple and the orange. And that helps just to troubleshoot because if you have a student who says, well, my robot's not working, well, one of the first things you can do is check the cables. Okay? So that's why they have those colored little tape on it. But you can hook any cable into any port you want. So if you notice when you were building, you had ports 1, 2, 3, 4, correct? Those are your input ports. Those are waiting for your information. It's waiting for information to be inputted into your sensors and sent to the brick so it will do something. Your output ports are sending out information to either your motors. Okay, they're telling them to do something. Okay? All right, so are you all ready now to do some programming? Okay, so let's make the robot move. Okay, so think of it like this. This is your full block palette. Now, you get many more options when you use a computer to program the EV3, but these are the on-brick blocks. These are the little programming blocks that you're going to program with. So, and I know these aren't the best pictures in the whole wide world, but that's what Lego provides right now. So I'm going to give you kind of an overview here and then talk you through it. You have a start little block, and then you have a dotted line. So think about the dotted line. You're reaching up to a shelf to get one of these blocks to make your robot move and sense different things. Okay? So we're going to program the first one together. So we're going to make your robot do little donuts, okay, or 360s. So go ahead and turn on your EV3 if you haven't yet, and that's by pressing the center button. You have your robot on? Did it make a little, you just turning it on now? Okay, so we'll wait just a second so I don't lose you. You know the EV3 is good to go when you have a solid green, the brick lights are solid green ready to go. Now the NXT, the second generation, used to boot up a lot faster. This is running on Linux for you geeky people, okay? All right, so here we go. All right, so you're looking at your brick, and it should say up at the tabs, the first one is the triangle with the little circle, and that says program. You want to go and use you've got your up, down buttons, your left and your right. And then your middle one, think of it as select. Okay, so I want you to go 2 right clicks to what looks like a 2x3 Lego brick. Now, in order to do on-brick programming, you're going to go down to where it says brick program. So 3 clicks down. And you should be on brick program. This is the program where you have to actually, this is the part of the programming where you program on brick. So select that with your middle button. Okay? So this is now where you're going to start your program. So you have a start block, which is here. And I gave away my clicker. So here's the start block. This is where you put in your programming blocks to make it do things. And then that end one is a loop. So you can have it just go through it once or twice or 10 times or I don't know, whatever the defaults are. Now, like I said, you don't get as many choices with just the on brick. Okay? So if you'll notice, you see the little dotted lines going up? Okay, once you see the dotted lines, you're going to go up. And you want to get 2 motors at work. So when you go up, you should be on how many motors? There's 1 single motor, because it looks like the motor that you just attached. So it's a servo motor. So you want to go to the right, and those you're going to control 2 motors. And it should look like this one right here. So you reached up on the shelf to pick out a block. Okay? So, am I okay? Did I lose anybody? Yeah, okay, so it's this one. So that's just 1 motor. So go to the right. And then, okay, so, yeah. So once you're there on the double motors, so you can control 2 motors selected. Okay? Now once it's selected, we can make it do different things. So we want it to go the 360. So you're going to go ahead and select that so you can change kind of the modifier there. So I don't know if it's up or down, but it should give you, should highlight that little box right there, and then you can use your up and down arrows to select which way you want your robot to go. So you're looking for the little roundabout. Right. You've got to select, you've got to turn, yeah, just keep going. Yeah, let's see what happens. I don't know if you selected or, so you're still on the same one, so go back down. Okay, select this by the little, see how that's got a dark border around it? Now you can change that modifier. All right, once you've found this, okay, then you're going to select it. So with the middle button. All right. So we're going to make both our robots go. One's going to go in one direction, the other one's going to go in the other direction. We have to put it on for an amount of time. So you're going to go to the right, and you're going to go up to the shelf again. So you should get the dotted lines that go up. And you're going to go way up to the fourth shelf, so keep pressing that up button until you get way up to the top shelf. And you're looking for the little timer. Once you find the little timer, you're going to, yes, that's it. You're going to select it. So get right on top of it, get the dark border, and then select it. So how many programming blocks do you have now? You should have 2. Turn on the motors, in what direction, and then they're going to run for how long? What does the 2.00 mean, you think?
2 seconds.
2 seconds, okay, but that's a good guess. All right, so everybody have 2 blocks? Okay, now this is the tricky part. All right, once you've selected it and it's not a dark border around that 2.0, see this little, it's called kind of the reverse button? If you press it just one time, it should get you back to the start block. And the start block is this guy right here. All right? If that kind of has a dark border, all you do have to do is press your center button and it will start your program. So watch your robot. I know, it's a little confusing. So, you got your motor, and they're going to go this way. All right, so go over. Okay, now you've got your time. So these motors are going to turn on for 2 seconds. All right, go back just one with your reverse. It should get back to the start. Now press it, and it should take off. Okay. Now what I want you to do this time is see if you can get your robot to go forward for 5 seconds. Okay. So remember, this guy's spinning around, but I want him to go forward for 5 seconds. Okay, let's see what you have. Okay. So, what's happening first here? Somebody. Right. So you got it on for 2 seconds, then turning. But how long are these motors turning on for? No time. Because what you've done is you've got them reversed. It's waiting for 2 seconds, but it doesn't know what it's doing. So what you need to do is to go back to here. Yeah. So let's see, how do you delete it? Select it?
Yeah.
Okay, and go up or down?
I can change it to that.
You could. Sure. Okay.
Let's see what's hard for you.
All right. So now, that's okay. All right, run it, see what happens. So, yep, now hit. Oh, I can see. It's on the Oh, I know. You've got to go up to the shelf. So you're here, right? Okay, so go up to the shelf. And you see where the trash can is? Okay, now select it. Now it's gone. Now, try it again and let's see what happens. Okay, here's the first troubleshooting tip. Make sure that you pull these out and push them back in again.
Okay.
You should hear a snap. Do that to all of them.
Okay.
All right, now run him again. Okay. Okay, so go back to break program. All right, you'll have to start again. Yep. All right, how are we coming? Are we getting him to go? Did you get him to go forward? Let's see him go forward. All right, can you get him now to go forward for 2 seconds? Spin around and then go in reverse. Okay, how are we doing? Okay, so let's see, we've got the motors, and they're both BC. It should work for one time. Oh, I know why. Okay, all right. If you look back here, these 1, 2, 3, 4 are your input ports. So they take in your sensors. In order for your motors to work, you have to use your output ports, A, B, C, D. So switch your motors, so your left motor is in B, which is the blue one, and then your red one, put that in C. Okay?
What's strictly considered the front, where the sensor is?
It's up to you. You make that determination. Did you get him to go forward and backwards?
Evaluate state and national grant programs.
Oh, okay.
They're going class with you.
Okay.
So we kind of want to know what they do. Exactly. So
Okay.
better for the team.
Gotcha. So all you're
So
gonna
we
do
could
is,
work.
Okay.
We've got 2 of these 3.
Right.
How we get back and.
So what you're gonna do is you move left and right through the program and up and down to select stuff. That's basically it. So if you're on this guy, okay, he's double motors, what do you want him to do?
Well, we never backlit.
Better on that side. Okay, so you turn the motors on, right? But how long are they on for?
That we could find.
Okay, so I want you to go to the shelf, so right, and then see how you have the, yeah, I want you to go all the way to the top.
All the way to the.
Yeah, all the way to the top. Keep going.
We need to keep going.
Keep going. Okay, now that's your timer. Okay, now select that. Okay, now, right, now you can run. So go back to
Although now you might jump
yeah,
over that.
and now press your select button and
Oh,
you
yeah.
start. Oh, we did. Okay. You just didn't, you had it on.
We didn't go far enough.
Right, you didn't get the timer. There is sound in there.
I made it special.
We just didn't go high enough. We didn't realize we weren't on the high shelf yet.
Right, it's 4 shelves, kind of. You just need that more blocks.
Yes.
You gotta get the shelf. All right, if you successfully got him to go forward and backwards, okay, and did some donuts, now what I want you to do is add your touch sensor. So basically what this is going to do is this one here, all right, it's waiting for a touch. So once he senses a touch, then what is he going to do?
Whatever.
He's going to make a sound. And what sound is he going to make? He's going to make number 1 sound. I don't know what number 1 sound is. You'll find out. Then he's going to do what here? He'll do what?
Oh, he said he works.
Okay, he works. Okay. So, well, just program this and see what he does. So you can save all these programs, but if you go ahead and back out 2 times, then you can clear off your brick program and you can start fresh.
I can't see him.
If you need some help, let me know.
How do you back out?
Just hit your reverse button twice.
It came out.
Okay, okay, so select that. Okay, now start it again. See, now you've got a clean one. How you doing, sir? Okay, so just go back to this reverse one. Okay, now go one more time. Okay, now go back to the work program. And now you've got a clean slate.
Is it like a box or something in it?
Yes, yes, it is.
Touch it.
And then.
Right, so there's 3 ways you can control a touch sensor. There's, you tap it, I can't remember, I'm drawing a blank. It has to wait for an in-out. And then there's one where when you press it, it'll do something. Or it's waiting for a release. So you hold this down and when you release it, then it will do something. So say you've got it up against the wall, okay? So it's a press release and I can't remember the other one.
Now the middle button and then.
Yes. And you can put an axle in this guy.
And go over.
Okay, like if you was pointed out this way.
Forward.
But there's three controls for that touch sensor. Press, release, and escape. Okay, so how can you make it where you could hear the sound easier? Because it's making sound as it's moving. There you go. Okay, so let's see. So this one is okay. So that's your touch sensor, right? So what it's waiting for, oh, I know it. So it's waiting for you to touch. When you press it, then it'll go on and move to the other. So one again. Yeah, so we're in start. Hit the select button. Okay, now it's waiting for you to get on left.
It says like the chips and. Yeah, I like the chips. I did very nothing.
So
So physical random, like a release touch after the sound, or?
You would just put in another weight. So you have a weight on there. You're going to wait for just time.
So just,
Yes. Okay, and then give it a try. How'd you do, ladies?
Well, I thought we did it, but it's running.
Okay, so now what it's waiting for is what? Waiting for you to touch it. So it's waiting for you to touch that touch sensor, yes.
We did it wrong again. Oh, okay.
Right. It always throws everybody off when you switch the sensors because your first programming it just took off.
Yeah.
Okay, but now it's waiting for a touch. So when you run it again, see how the brick is waiting, it's flashing, it's waiting, waiting, waiting.
That's cool.
Okay? So, what is the number one saying? What is the sound saying? Hello.
Yeah.
Okay? Try a different sound. Change it to 2 or 3 or 4 or 5.
Okay. Now.
You don't know how to add blocks?
Oh, no, we figured it out.
Okay. Because the time is going to keep what running? Your motor. Right here is waiting for it. Touch. It's going to make a sound. It's going to go in reverse for how long? Exactly.
And then he was like, well, there was black. Or no, there was no more black. And it was white instead. But I had white.
Oh, you put 2 sounds?
Yeah. Until you white and then brown. Yeah, they look the same. Yeah.
Okay, that is your introduction to EV3 robotics. So now you built, just in what, 55 minutes? You built a robot, okay? You made it do things, you programmed it to do things, and now you're going to disassemble. And if you'll notice, you spent most of that time doing some problem solving. Why won't it work? What can I do different? What did I do wrong? What did I do right? So it's all about the problem solving. If you wouldn't mind, I've got maybe a minute, so you'll have to be fast disassemblers. I'm always doing it. I would always take my kids as pencils too. So to turn off your brick, you are now experts.
Hit the backup button and so it'll go back to the front screen and give you the little power down thing and select it.
Yeah, I'll give you, it's exactly right. So the green light means,
I think so.
so you must have put it in a loop for a while. What did you change that to? You remember?
That's what it said on.
So you've got it going forward, and then it's spinning around, and then, you're gonna do that 3 times. Put it in a loop. Good job.